Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You don't know, it's a boy Abu just getting here representing for First Sports TV, and we're back tonight with another preview, and we have a couple topics that we want to discuss tonight. But first, let me introduce the speakers tonight. We have Jigidan, Shane Kirby, Blacks, and Sports with Greg. What's going on, guys?
Good night. Good night.
Yeah. Happy Easter.
Back at it again, you know. Yeah, man, happy Easter to you all.
Yeah, man, Oliver, we don't know who partake in the bun and cheese business, but them say at that time of year. But anyway, so in tonight we have a couple topics we want to discuss. In fact, it have to do with football either way. So we're just gonna get into it because tonight should be a short video. Question, right? Do you think kneeling in football has its intended effect? Do you think it's been effective? Because it's like a year. Say about a year now, right? So do you think it played a part? Shane, you have the floor.
All right. So, do I think it's had its intended effect? All right. So, in a sense, I think it has. You understand? In a sense of bringing notoriety to the issues that individuals are African American minorities, really, because now we see it now where the Asian the community gets chastised, right? You know, with the China flu and all of these things. But it's bringing notoriety to issues that minorities have, right? In a sense, it has, because it has kept it in the forefront of people's minds. On the other hand, the issue we have is that when you have a majority of people and well-meaning people that is paying attention to it, you always have dissenting voices. And it seems to be, most of the time, it's the minority of people that... Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's the minority that have dissenting voices or just want to oppose these things. But I think it has. I think it has kept these things at the forefront of people's minds, and it has had most of its intended, its intended purposes. Again, having people keep thinking and having conversations. I yield the floor.
Well said. Jiggy, you have the floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just such a nuanced topic. It's hard to speak on it, but I think it's important. So yes, as Shane said, it has brought light to a topic that has been suppressed for many years. We look at the issue now with the advent of social media, where we can see the abuse suffered, right? But I would like to point out that some of this racial abuse has been going on for many years. We have heard it throughout the music, whether it be reggae music, rap music, right, throughout the years, and people have been complaining about abuse like this, and it was swept under the rug. But now that we have social media, it seems to be more prevalent, which is, I don't have the data, so I can't say it's more prevalent, but we can see it, right? And anybody can now record it because of the phone. Now, when you're talking about kneeling, I want to clarify that we're talking about soccer, right? And but there's also still some kneeling in American football. And yes, it does. I don't know if it has had the intended effect, but it has brought light to the matter, right? Because we still see videos on a daily basis with racial overtures, right? And it's something that we all have to deal with, right? But the gesture was good. We see now that even some black people no longer kneel. You know, the most prevalent footballer, EPL footballer, is Wilfred Zaha, who said he's going to protest in another manner other than kneeling, right? So that is something that we really have to take into consideration when we talk about how nuanced it is, how everyone is different, how everyone protests a little bit differently. But to answer the question, I don't know if it has had the intended effect, but it has brought light to the matter.
Yeah, thank you, Jiggy. Greg, you want to expand?
Not a lot, but just to add to what Jiggy and Shane said, um, I feel like it has brought some light to the world at large. You know, social media is the way to go right now. I mean, in terms of getting your views out there or getting your point out there. So the fact that this has been big on social media, you know, a lot more people seeing it, especially the younger generation, it is making a bigger impact. Now, I don't know if, I mean, I was always for the kneeling because I felt like the fact that it was creating so much attention and a lot the people that were being offended were in some sense the actual oppressors, to put, you know, if that's the correct way to put it. But yeah, they were actually the ones being offended by the kneeling. So actually we were making an impact, or we were causing a stir there. Now I didn't want it to just stop there. And for a while it had became stagnant. Like that was, you know, we kept on kneeling, and it just became like a routine before games. You know, like when you're playing football competitions in Jamaica, and when you reach to a certain level before gameplay, the national anthem is sung. Kneeling had become like that. So it wasn't, you weren't reaching out anymore, or you weren't making a impact anymore. It was just, you know, just a routine. Now, what I saw Thierry Henry do like 2 weeks ago, that is taking it to another step. Now, I hope he continues, and this is not just, you know, a publicity thing, which I don't think it is, because he's a genuine person. I mean, all these years I've been watching him as a player and following him. He seemed like a genuine person. Now, I feel like a step like that should be, you know, it should continue. Or people should continue to take it to another level. You know, don't just continue with just the kneeling. Like I said, it has become like a routine now. It's not affecting anyone anymore. No one is bothered by it anymore. You know, we needed to continue bothering people until a change has actually been made. So this step that Henry has made, where he has deactivated all his social media accounts, other sports influences, especially in football, needs to start taking steps like those. Not exactly the same thing, but just taking steps that will tell the world at large and show people that, hey, we're not satisfied with what's going on. So we're gonna continue doing the things that are gonna impact you until a change has been made.
Okay, you spoke well over your time, but point taken. Basically, you saying it's like they're getting immune to this kneeling business. No progress been made. Okay, all right. Blacks, you have anything you want to add?
Um, well, I support what the previous three persons have said so far, and I think they are spot on. The one thing that I would add is that when did it achieve what the purpose that it was set out for? When I said that, you look at the context of what was Kaepernick trying to achieve when he started to kneel. He wanted to bring attention to the issue. So if you look at it in that context, yes, it did achieve its goal. What I think it didn't achieve is that I think a lot of people were naive. I think a lot of people were thinking that just the kneeling was going to bring out some greater change. And by itself, it cannot, and it could never have brought out greater change for that. So those people who were thinking that this kneeling was gonna cause this great shift in attitudes, in overall how black people are treated and all these things, those people are disappointed. But again, I think they were a bit naive, because we have seen protests over the years from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and from even Garvey, when I start talk about some of these things from in the 20s and 30s. You know, by itself, no one act is gonna have no great change, but did it bring attention? Yes, it did. And I think, and me personally think that was the main reason for the kneeling. The second part of what it did, I think it was good because it revealed a lot of people too. You know, as Greg said, some of the people were getting upset for the oppressors. You know, if you have not look at that. Now you saw them. Now you can identify them. And I like the fact that I could see some of them. You know, look at those two about a couple weeks ago, the schoolers, the high school girl team, which they were kneeling in before the game. and the commentators on a hot mic thinking that the mics were off, and the names they started to call the young girls. You know, I like the fact that this whole thing has revealed a lot of people, and slowly and but surely, we are actually seeing where people stand, how people really are, and technology and whatever else is kind of just showing them up. And I think so from that perspective, yes, it has achieved it, what it was originally intended for, but there's a lot more that needs to get done.
Well said, well said, well said. Any final thought in closing? Shane, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think that one thing we have to make sure, and we'll be careful that we're not getting into like where we have this issue. Our in society, we get to a point with this debating where it's not tokenism, where people are just going through the motions, like Greg said, right? We cannot have that. And then at the same time, we're not one monolithic group. So therefore, you cannot have everybody think the same way every time. You have to allow for people having different ways and means in this protest. Everybody now going to think the same way at every time. So when people have the dissenting views, you have to listen. You cannot just shut them down because that achieves absolutely nothing. That is my point.
Okay, sir. With that being said, we're gonna move on to some sports now. Glad I was able to get that out of the way. As we had said earlier, we're gonna discuss the Italian league. Go over a couple games, not all of them. And yeah, here we go. Milan Sampdoria. Any predictions? Anything you wanna go over?
But the question I'm more asking, because I haven't seen this, I know Zlatan played the first game, I think, for Sweden, and he didn't play the second game. And it seemed as if Milan, the wheels, well, I wouldn't say the wheels are falling off, but they clearly aren't the same team that kind of started off. And they seem to go, Zlatan go. He missed quite a few games. And they didn't perform as well. He's back. His goal scoring ratio is actually pretty good. I think he's scoring more goals or as much goals as games that he has played so far. And also, is he gonna be there? If he's there, Milan have a good chance. If he's not, then it's gonna be another struggle for them, in my view.
Sampdoria. Not sure if he's injured. I haven't seen or got any report. So Greg have him on up. Greg, something you wanna add?
No, my bad. I think I actually entered that play, but yeah, it is AC. So my bad. But that Sweden last game, was that the game that he didn't play, was that a qualifier or a friendly?
I think it was a friendly. But you know Zlatan like to play football.
So I'm assuming that's why he didn't play that. I think this was talked about last night too. I think that's why he didn't play that game, because it was a friendly. Because what's his name? Emil Forsberg. Forsberg didn't play that game either. So it may have been because it was a friendly. Now AC is second in the table, which is still surprising because they had a poor run of games, like quite a few games. They had a poor run. So I'm surprised they're still in second place. But so has Juventus, I guess. Juventus has been horrible, and that's another topic. We could open a can of worms there when it comes to
Okay, Greg. We're moving on.
Well, I don't know. Let me just say this now. When it comes to, I mean, we're talking about the Serie A, and it's not that much an exciting league right now. So,
but we're gonna get to Juventus.
No, I'm not talking about Juventus alone. I'm talking Ernie, hold on there. Ernie Smith, hold on. The coaches in the Serie A that have gotten extended stay. That's something that could be discussed again, because a Gattuso, a Pirlo, I mean, those guys have got extended stays and haven't done much. But yeah, we continue with the games.
Well said. And to be honest with what you just said, the legends, our past players are doing horribly. But we're not discuss that. Atalanta, una dice.
Yo, I want some man. Me not talk about million on my side. Me not understand just move on from million on my side. Yo, me not moderator. Right, no, no, call back on the live. Yeah, I'm talking about on my side. Anyways, as you know, Brian Diaz is my favorite baller, young baller. Right, we have had this debate many times with that Brian Diaz, Ford, and you know, I can't compare him to Ford and what the other one, Sancho anymore because they have excelled because his management. I want to point this out. Brian Diaz's management, him father and papa, him mother, whoever decided that he should go to Real Madrid from Manchester City when everybody else went to Bundesliga. To this development, but he went to AC Milan now and he's playing very well, right? So him and I've never understood how to say his name. Conhalaglo, whatever his name is, what's his name?
Action.
Martin, I can't pronounce his name. At AC. That person.
Yeah.
Right? They were leading the league yesterday. They had a bad run of farm. Rough patch, it's understandable, but it's gonna be a battle for the end still. I think it's not clearly out there. There's still like more than 10 games left. So it's gonna be I'm gonna watch all these games. I think the man Sampdoria 2-1 to Milan. That'll be my prediction tomorrow. But I really like the talent that's in the AC Milan team. Very much so.
Jiggy, I didn't know you was a AC fan, but since you went down that road, if you sorely depend on 6-year-old Zlatan, like when him get injured, your side struggle. Well, I'm still not convinced it's your team.
COVID has affected everybody, right? We have to wait and see what the ownership of Milan do in the summer to prop up the team. But it's still going to be a battle to the end, right? It's going to be a battle to the end because the coach for Inter is Conte, and he's going to mess it up, right? It's going to be a battle for the end, right? So I have faith that Milan will be there in the end. Who's going to win the league? I don't know.
Okay, so now we can move on. Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right, cool. Get to the Atalanta, one of these again. Shane is going to speak about his favorite player, Lukaku.
So who Inter?
Inter. You talk about Atalanta first.
Okay, all right, yeah, Atalanta.
One of these a game.
Well, again, Atalanta in that bunch about 7 teams who will battle for top 4, and that's the only intriguing thing I see. In Syria, who go finish top 4? You understand? Atalanta, just like Milan, at AC Milan and Juventus, they have had a spotty farm where they drop whole heap of points in which they shouldn't. Atalanta again and again too, they were poor in terms of where they drop out of Champions League. So I don't know what that's about. Where all Syria teams them just seem to be struggling, but they need to get back to winning ways and try to solidify them top 4 place, Atalanta, because they don't want to lose most of the players than they have again, because they can attract good players like they're supposed to. So they need to solidify them top 4 place for next season.
I think they should be safe. But we are gonna move on. Anybody else want to speak on it?
Well,
the only thing I want to know is when is Greg Ball as a Zapata gonna show up, right? And bring the team, the Colombian baller to the when is he gonna bring the team to the promised land? That's what I want to know.
Well, again, they have whole heap of good players. The problem is that league is very good, right? So you may look on it now, and you have Atalanta in a 4th, and then you have Napoli, 2 points off of them. You have Roma, who is 5 points off of them. And you have Lazio, all of them still in with a shout. So it's a league with depth and good quality. All of those teams have players who can hurt upon and turn up on any day, and put in a performance. So it's a league with real quality. It's not the Syria of a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And for them get over the top, you still need. What you say?
I have a question to Greg and you Arsenal fans. Why is it that Mkhitaryan is playing so well at Roma? and he had that issue at Arsenal. I'm trying to understand. Like, he's playing this lovely football, so I want to put this on to you. So
That's one
Buju
question at a time, Jiggy.
Yeah, you're asking about Zapata already. Let me answer the Zapata part. Actually, Zapata wasn't my baller at Atalanta. I rate him because, you know, he can't get the job done as an olden day centre forward playing a modern day game. He can still get the job done. My player was actually Alejandro Papu Gomez, who they sent to La Liga. That was actually my.
In Ghana, no.
Eh?
Yeah, in Ghana, no. Which I
Yeah,
didn't understand.
In Ghana La Liga. That was actually my player at Atalanta. But yes, Zapata is still doing good. But you may not know this, but my favorite Colombian striker over the past 7 years, other than Falco, is the leading goal scorer for Atalanta right now. Luis Muriel.
Muriel.
Yeah. When he was at Udinese, that was my young striker. When people were talking about Carlos Bacca, Luis Muriel was my young striker. And he's the one.
Greg. It kept taking him a while for really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
To perform how people want him to perform. Because everybody knows he could have killed people.
Yeah, but he's the one leading the goal scorers Italy now. As far as Mkhitaryan, why you asking us that question and not the Man U fans? He did like half a season at Arsenal. Seriously. That's the question for the Man U fans, bro. And I mean, Syria is where Man U's player, Manchester United players go to retire. I mean, Ashley Young, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan, Chris Smalling, or Mike Smalling, whatever his name is. You know? Man U players, I'm going to retire. So,
no,
enough of that.
Alexis Sanchez.
I'm going to have to get a Man U fan on this chat. JR Earl powered off a vacation.
Oh, one message today.
Kush take the initiative, but him say him phone dead. So yeah, we need to.
I left and tired because you're right and put up.
One message me today now ask me so what kind of bias live this is. Only Arsenal and Liverpool fans. So
platform is open. Listen, Man U fans.
But Shane is on it.
Platform is here. Forward.
No, Shane is neutral.
No man, Arsenal that man. Yo, him have Arsenal dress now, you know, so he can't say nothing.
Nah, he's more like a Fulham fan. Anyway, Buju, what next?
I look for Inter game.
Yeah, at that game, Shane want comment, man. Mute the mic.
Well, I'm going to play first. I lost it. Shane, you know what I'm play?
Bologna. And then you have a touring derby. Oh, that's going to be good. You have Juventus and Torino.
Shane, who Torino? They still have Bolatti?
Yes. And in the score too, you know. In the score too, so it should be a good game. Juventus need points. And no game. They struggle every game to score. So that's going to be a good derby.
You remember when every team in the Premier League was linked with Bolatti?
Yeah, and they should be again. Again, that's the thing. He's still a good player, but everybody is in love with Haaland and everything. They talk about
Juventus have 3 players suspended for Saturday's game, you know. So
and they should be still able to win the game.
3. It's going to be a struggle.
Ramsey, I show up, you.
Arsenal fans always have hope. Wow.
Speaking of Arsenal fans, quickly, did you all see the tackle that Hurricane did on Szczesny in the England-Poland game?
No, I didn't see it.
But you need to pull it up and put it on screen. It was a disgusting slide tackle. But as usual, him get away with it.
No surprise.
For some reason,
he got away with one in the last Premier League game that they played also too. You know?
Yes, he's been getting away with a lot of tackles recently.
Somebody needs to leave something for him.
I guess it's just his frustration at this time. You know, he's not gonna win anything at Tottenham, and they're not gonna let him go. So he's just frustrated. Maybe he's gonna have to bite somebody like Suarez.
How you spell Szczesny?
How
you spell Szczesny?
S-C-Z.
No, it's S-Z.
Oh, it's S-Z?
Yeah.
N-E-S. I don't know.
Jiggy, who cares anyway?
I don't even know if it's spelling first name because Vujcek. Unbelievable.
It starts with a
so
W.
the next game we're talking about is the Inter game.
So So we have Inter versus Bologna. as if you're Inter, you have 10 points. They're 10 points ahead of everybody now. So they kind of can really focus on the league, focus on finishing off and win them first. Syria in a while. Yeah. What is that?
6.
6 points? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with a game in hand.
Oh yeah. Just look on it. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, but they should be able to finish off the league, and then have one of the best striking lineup. They have the midfield, they have the defense, they have everything. There's no reason why they shouldn't finish this off and be and forward as champions. You know, I mean, kind of realize the talent that's in their team that people been talking about for years. Again, it'll be interesting. Not talk about Lukaku, Bujo. It'll be interesting for Lukaku. Number 28, right? Just like Hurricane. I wonder what will happen after this season. You know what I mean? He amongst the top scorers in our league. And I think that depending on how the strikers them in a Europe move, I think he'll probably move too. Maybe he will fall back to the Premier League. Who knows? You understand? But again, it's one more year where he is amongst the top scorers in a Europe. And I just want him to get the recognition. Go on, Greg.
Blocks, go on, because you know something for Go on.
Well, I was looking. I remember because I don't follow the Italian league as everybody else, but Bologna, I think they have given up by about 44 goals and them scored 39. That means that's clearly a team that's either very inconsistent and struggle defensively. You know, so Inter, I think, are the leading goal scorers in the league this year. So from that alone, you should expect Inter to do the job. You know, you see, it's amazing. Shane said that they are 10 points ahead, and the only reason why he said that because they are 10 points ahead of Juventus. Because that's really the standard in Italy. You know, it's where you are in front of Juventus. That's why he said it. When he said it, because in my mind, I remember 10 also, but remember, no, they are 10 points ahead of Juventus. Because Milan is actually only 7 points, I think, behind them. You know, so it's just that. But I would really like to see Inter do it this year, especially the fact that they have Manu rejects over there that are kicking ball in the goal, and Manu still can't find a center forward. You know, I would like just for that alone, I'd want to see Inter do it. Just for that alone.
But even then, they go say he never fit all the system and justify that stupid way. Make no sense.
Yeah, that's. I know I can hear Ricky say it right now. When I watch tomorrow, I'm going to say it right now. I can hear Ricky. Ricky, I call you out right now. Yeah. But the man is a goal scorer and a score goal everywhere he has been. Every single, from PV to now, he must score goal. And if you don't score goal on your team, it's because you are doing something wrong. You know, and that's why I look at it.
Score goal in a 20 system. What are you talking about? A West Brom. What are you talking about? And when they say he can't he never fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer system, they don't even know what his system is 2 years into it. But let's not go there.
He doesn't fit Ole Gunnar no system. Yo, but anyway, still, we never talk too long about Inter Milan, but at the same time, as I lost reverberate, Inter Milan, bro, have a top squad. I mean, you have a person like Eriksson who went on international and scored, played some phenomenal football for Denmark. Pandebrek can't start in an Inter team. Well, or he's not starting because of Kante. And you also have Sense who can't get in a game, right? And I don't know why Kante still playing 3-5-2, but it's fine. Right? I mean, the team should hang on, you know, and not do like what they did in Champions League and collapse and get kicked out of that. Right? They should hold on and get this title, but we'll see.
All right, quickly. Even though Inter look like the runaway leaders, or look like the league is there, the runaway leaders, even though they look like the league is theirs to lose, they're only leading AC by 6. I would love for a Cinderella team, because if Inter win it, you still go feel like I say, okay, are the strongest team this season win, just like Juventus over the past probably 10 years, you know? So I wouldn't mind they slip up and AC win it. Now, where the competition really is, like Shane said, for the other Champions League and Europa League spots, what do you call them? Up to 7th spot, Napoli, Roma, and Lazio are still in with a shot of finishing even 3rd. You know, so that is where the competition is gonna be. The games that they're playing this weekend, who they're playing their games against, is probably nothing you wanna watch. but at least you want to pay attention to the results of Napoli, Roma, and Lazio this weekend. You know, nobody really talking about them, but should pay attention to their results.
That's it. Should we move to French League or should we move to basketball?
Just one thing for the French League. Again, we have Lille PSG.
I don't see one game.
One match in the Farmers League?
Yeah, one game in a French League. I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Okay. So we waste no time on French League, right? We continue. Shane make up his face like him have something else to say.
You know he's French.
But saying that, will Posh lose this French League? Is it the possibility that he loses? Is it a possibility? Can it happen?
Yes. He'll mess it up.
He mess it up.
Just like when he messed it up and give the year he should have won it was 2015. Which year did Leicester City win it?
16.
2016. He messed it up, right? He messed it up in the end, right? He had the opportunity to win, and all he had to do was be consistent in results. And the last couple of games in the end, and I think even Arsenal passed them. Didn't even Arsenal pass them?
Yes, that was
the last year.
Last year. Wow. See, I'm telling you, I remember, how could I forget 2016? It was unbelievable. He messed it up.
That was the season there was rough in the Belgium camp because Chelsea beat them, and Chelsea had Hazard and there were 2 Belgians in Chelsea team and about 5 in Tottenham team. And the Tottenham ones were really upset at Hazard. I don't remember Hazard and Wells were on that Chelsea team, but the Tottenham team, Alderweireld, Vertonghen,
the goalkeeper, Courtois.
Courtois was Courtois and Hazard at Chelsea.
Yeah, Courtois had us at Chelsea.
Yeah, there was a big one in Tottenham midfield. I think it was Nasir Chadli. Was Chadli still there?
I don't know if he was still there.
No, what's the left-footed one? Dembele.
Dembele was still there.
Dembele, the 2 centre backs, and there was someone else, and they were really upset because Chelsea beat them and prevented them from. It was Chelsea that stalled them. That was where the collapse started. So I can't forget that season. But yeah, Klopp. I mean, when last you see PSG tied at this juncture,
hey,
normally they lead him by 10 points.
He might think of the lineup and mess it up, bro. He might get nervous.
That's sad though. I mean,
well, personally, what I would like to see, it has become a Farmers League. Is a 9 in a row they win, or something like that?
About that,
or at least 9 out of 10. Juventus is 8 in a row. Bayern has won 9 or 10 in a row, or something like that. It's ridiculous, and I want to see somebody challenging these leagues. I would like to see this be the year of the upset where somebody else challenge. All you know what these teams do anyway. All of them will just go and just squash these other teams and spend a whole lot of money. But maybe one of them will come and buy somebody who can get rid of from the team so the team can refresh. So.
All right, we move on. Basketball. And we don't have much time, folks.
It is real.
Well, we know I want to eat. The one thing I want to say, the Toronto Raptors just beat the Golden State Warriors by 53 points.
But you need a whole part of time to talk about basketball.
What a performance by the Raptors. Wait, let me take up my Raptors hat. Look where I put it on.
If we're talking about, sir, the
Raptors just beat them by.
Sir, the Raptors are out of the playoffs. Do we really have to do this?
No, but I'm in Canada, sir. You can't tell me nothing.
Sir, the Raptors, let's not do this. That is
embarrassing. 2 years ago. Don't talk to me.
But what I'm saying is that in order for us to discuss basketball the real and serious way, we need like 2.5 hours, sir. We are trying to, But at the same time, did you see the Denver Nuggets last night? I told you that it's a problem. The issue is that Gordon being on that team, it's defensively scary, and he is athletic, and he's like the 4th best player because Porter Jr. is playing well this year. So he's the 4th or the 5th best player on the team, and he was the star on Orlando team, and now he's playing on Denver Nuggets. They're going to be a problem. If the Denver Nuggets, people say we're crazy, but if the Denver Nuggets make it to the finals, with Nets, I wouldn't be surprised because of the pickup. But we have to watch the game play out. When is LeBron gonna come back? When is AD gonna come back? Right? When is Kevin Durant gonna come back? Are they more injured than they're letting on? All these things nobody knows, right? So they
AD the real MVP, as you well know.
Right? Nobody knows, right? If the Lakers lose the next 4 games, which they might, they are in 10th position in the West. They might be the 10th position in the West because that's how bad the West, that's how good the West is, right? I think they're 5th now. It's crazy, So we can't, as me say, we can't do justice for the basketball in the short time frame because there's a lot of, are the Heat real?
Greg?
Are they going to say, yo, we're going to challenge the Nets? Because the Nets look, the other night they only play with Kyrie and Lamar Aldridge against Charlotte, and they wax them. Like it wasn't even a contest. It was unbelievable, right? So, does anybody else have that type of firepower?
Me tell you about James Harden and him go vomit, I'm not going to throw it, him go vomit. Watch out for that.
In the East, they can make it to the finals without James Harden or Kevin Durant in the East. That's how good the team is, I'm
not denying that, but I'm just telling you weird.
Either or without both of them.
Without both of them, they can make it to the finals because of the firepower.
So you have been drinking holy wine.
They might be number 1 3-point shooter in the league on the team. They might be number 1 3-point shooter on the team. Right? Joe Harris.
I don't care what I say. As much as I have no respect for Philadelphia, I don't think they can beat Philadelphia without all 3 players.
No, sir.
Without all 3 players, they cannot beat Philadelphia. I think all 3 they are better than Philadelphia. Without all 3, they cannot. And the all 3 have to be playing good also.
Are you putting your trust in Joel Embiid? We have seen Joel Embiid's act before.
Well, it's Toronto make him cry. It's not everybody else. And we're not going to make him cry this year.
We see him against Boston. We see him against Milwaukee. We have seen this for the last 4 years. I'm done with Joel Embiid. Until he does it, I'm done. I have no faith.
Well, as I said, I have no trust in them, but I still believe they have enough that if Nets do not bring them big 3, if it's not all of them, and the 2 pick up or the Nets pick up, I have no belief in them. Blake Griffin and Aldridge, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to move the needle at all, in my opinion. They're not going to move the needle. But they have to have all big 3 playing at a high level to beat Philadelphia. I just believe that's going to be the case, just by default.
No, sir. I don't even think they had all 3 when they beat them the first time.
In a series?
In the game they played earlier. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. Sorry, we're talking too much about basketball.
Blacks. Unfortunately, I have to disagree with you as a friend. LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he didn't show up at the Spurs, he is still a bona fide 18 to 20 points a game player. You don't think so? And Shane disagree with me too. Okay.
This is what I would say, Greg. LaMarcus, he was on the bench in San Antonio behind the other young players they were playing, and he was averaging 13 points. Okay. Now he will be in the Nets, and nobody will be defending him because they have to defend the other 3 or 2 players. Trust me. This is easy buckets for him. Easy.
Yeah,
easy buckets.
He's a bona fide scorer. You can't take that away from him. You're going to get at least 15 a game, 15, 16 a game from him. And if he's giving you that, then that takes a whole lot. And remember, Blake will give you at least 10. Blake will give you at least 10. Listen,
I'm not worried about Blake. The only point I disagree with is you say, so without, you say without James Harden and KD. I disagree with that.
I agree with both of them.
Yeah. One. If it's one, then I could agree with you. But if it's both of them, the East. Listen, man. Yes. Let me speak. The East have the Bucks, the Heat, individuals like that who you're not gonna get over with just Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. First of all, LaMarcus Aldridge can, and again, I'm not a fan of the Sixers, but LaMarcus Aldridge can't defend. He can't defend Embiid. I gotta be honest. I gotta give Embiid credit. Embiid will put up 50 on him easily, especially at this juncture. He's not a good defender. You understand? So it's about matchups. At least one of them. At least you need at least James Harden or Kevin Durant to get through this East. This East, you have depth. and you have good teams. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Bucks, but you need at least 2 of your superstars, legitimate superstars, not all-time superstars, to get through West. If you get through East, if you're Nets.
Shit, what's an all-time superstar?
Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes. But listen to me. There's a reason why Blake Griffin get bought out. There's a reason why Aldridge got bought out. It's not because they're great. It's because they had a big salary and they weren't playing up to it.
I wouldn't want to play for Detroit either. Come on. Let's be honest.
The Motor City we're talking about.
I already made 200 million. I've been to the playoff one time in 4 years. You would have still want to play there?
Again, there's a reason. Listen, but Jiggy, the second part about that part is that also nobody looked at them and said, oh, you know what? I think I need to go and get them. Because they could have traded for them.
No.
Somebody could have traded for them. Why didn't you trade for them?
Bro?
Why didn't you trade for them?
Why would you pay 40 million for Blake Griffin, bro?
Exactly. That means he's just not that good anymore.
No, bro. No. Look at Detroit. Have you ever been to Detroit?
I would drive past it.
Trash city, bro. Trash. Brooklyn. Think about it. Let's say the word. Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is garbage, you know.
Where is Brooklyn? Trash city. I would give up. I would give back 30 million. If I made 200 million, so here, take 30 million so I can go to Brooklyn. Come on, man. Trash team, trash town. Hopefully nobody here lives in Detroit. You know, I'm in Minneapolis.
No. Make sure miss it. Don't Yeah, but
Greg, tell us, is the heat real, sir? That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, is the heat real?
One arm if you do. Print it on my Friday. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
a
put
tattoo.
on your forehead. Is the heat real?
I'm gonna get a tattoo.
Put it on your wall.
Okay, like you tell me, say me I fight for 7, 8, or 9 spots now. I fifth me there, no. Just I put it out there. I fifth me there. In a 2 games, I fifth me there. That's how the East is.
The
Now,
playoffs in me.
we run a losing run. Last night, Oladipo played his first game. You know, he hasn't racked up the points yet that we expect. But Budgie and Mike off if you're not trying to say something. But he might incorporate with the team so far. He look uniform with everyone else, and it's that kind of player that I don't know if it's that Riley kind of player or the coach's kind of player. You know, the blue collar, hardworking kind of Miami Heat style, where you will see some players look good in the Heat jersey, but they go somewhere else and they look completely lost. You know, he's that kind of player that seems to just fit that culture. And I mean, when last have you seen Jimmy Butler happy for 2 seasons of that team? It just doesn't happen. That's not Jimmy Butler. And when we talk about Kawhi all the while, but Jimmy Butler is not much different. This is the longest we have seen at a team look comfortable and still having fun and not coming out there calling out his teammates or bitching about something. So the Heat culture is actually fitting him. And Oladipo seems like that.
I think that, Greg, I'll just add one thing. I think that has a lot to do with the coach. I think you have a good coach there. That's why I'm not going to write off the Heat. I think there's a good coach that the Heat have that maximizes the talent that them have at their disposal. So therefore, it'll be good to see how the new acquisitions assimilate and work forward in playoff time. Let's see how the matchups go, because I can't write them off, because I do think Coach Spoelstra is very good and ready to play.
What's the shooter we got from where is he from? The Kings? I still can't pronounce his name. Why am I Jiggy?
You know, Bezeka. That's him call him Bezeka.
Yeah, he seems like a good 3-point shooter. So, can we lose Olenek, and we still haven't replaced Crowder's points. So hopefully he bring us some points. So yes, Blacks, the Heat is real, and I said it the other night that at least the second round. Now don't be surprised if we go further, but at least the second round. I'll put my mortgage on that and I rent me up here.
Well, you're all in 5th, but you're 1 game out from 8th. So I don't like saying they know where at all. You know?
Yeah. And that means funny. I was surprised. I'm like 5th, you know. But yeah, it's just woolly teams that have about the same record, you know. And then when you know that chunk of teams, it just depends on where you end up and who you play, right? Because it's about matchups. Most side teams kind of even in match in terms of them superstar, you know. Like if you have Bucks, you don't want to play the Heat, right? it's just certain things you don't want to play. You prefer playing younger team, you know what I mean, and Charlotte or something like that. But again, it's just about matchups, bro. It really is.
I'm surprised Charlotte is in fourth.
Yeah. I was expecting them to start falling off after them lose that Lamelo. And they're still trying to maintain that pressure. Again, that doesn't mean anything at all. Because again, fourth is still 1 game away from 8. So it can fall off real fast. But that was a big loss for them, you know. Losing Lamelo Ball was a big loss for them, you know. He does a lot for that team. You know, and for a youngster, for a rookie, to the way him play, he plays with a lot of swag. I like him game, you know. I really like him game.
Yeah, Scary Terry are real MVP for that team, so I don't even worry about Lamelo Ball, bro.
Who?
Scary Terry.
The Boston. Yeah, man, Jiggy right. The Boston, the one from Boston.
I know what you're talking about.
I would have to use a word to describe him. It will be tenacious.
Has not had the basketball on the top.
I know it's topic.
Don't worry about your topics. Don't worry.